are taking you back down to Brazil.
There, at the top, an icon, not just of the Rio skyline, but of the faith at the foundation of this city.
Throughout history, monumental sculptures have been created for many reasons, whether to protect against evil, intimidate enemies, honor a deity, or unite people for a common cause.
The Statue of Liberty is one of the United States of America's primary landmarks. It is a neoclassical sculpture located in New York City.
In today's video, we're focusing on the tallest of them all, statues that stand as incredible testaments to human creativity and cultural history. These towering works of art are some of the most impressive, yet many of them you've probably never heard of. Join us as we explore the 15 tallest statues in the world and uncover their stories.
Number 15. Christ the Redeemer. Once again, he has ascended, but this time to heights that have never been seen before. It is not difficult to locate Christ the Redeemer, even if Brazil is not included on a map. Even while it is not the tallest statue in the world, it does grace the pinnacle of a mountain that is 2,300 feet tall and is located within a national park. Reinforced concrete was used in the construction of Christ the Redeemer, which is the largest Art Deco sculpture in the world. It is embellished with thousands of soapstone tiles. In the year 1850, a local priest put out the concept of creating a Christian monument to memorialize the Brazilian regent princess. The statue's long history begins with that year, and it has evolved significantly since then. The Archbishop of Rio de Janeiro did not take any action to finish the project that would be visible from almost any location in the city until the year 1920. Despite the fact that it required a considerable amount of time to bring the materials down from the mountain, the statue was completed in the year 1931. In order to get all of the items up the mountain that was 2,000 feet in height, train transportation was required. Even at this very moment, it is constantly being restored and rebuilt, because even Christ the Redeemer needs aid from time to time in order to appear to these heavenly standards. Number 14. Statue of Belief. The Statue of Belief, which is one of the youngest sculptures in the world, is currently the second largest statue in India and is expected to surpass all other statues of Lord Shiva that are currently in existence. It is anticipated that the Statue of Belief would reach an astonishing height of 351 feet, being visible from a distance of around 12 miles. Without a shore, it will increase the country's significance as a tourist destination and spiritual destination. It will be genuinely spectacular. In Rajasthan, an area that is well known for the Srinivati Temple, construction has begun on the Statue of Belief. Since 2012, this enormous structure, which is situated on 16 acres of gorgeous scenery, has been in the process of being constructed. A shoulder height of 260 feet is achieved by the statue, while the height of its base is 110 feet. There are various parts that make up this whole. A smaller Nandi sculpture, which is roughly 25 feet tall and 37 feet wide, is placed in front of the Statue of Belief. Its dimensions are approximately the same as those previously mentioned. Not only is the monument a sight to behold, but the region is also home to a number of stunning herb gardens, and it is in the process of being renovated into an entertainment park that will feature zip lines, food cellars, and all-terrain vehicle rides. Not only is the Statue of Belief going to be the fourth tallest statue in the world, but it is also going to be an extraordinarily breathtaking attraction. Number 13. The Great Buddha of Thailand. There is a good chance that you are already somewhat aware of the Great Buddha of Thailand, since it is a location that is quite popular among tourists and is an absolute necessity for anyone who is traveling to Thailand. It's not hard to understand why that is either. The height of the statue is over 300 feet, and its width is over 210 feet. There is another name for the statue, which is the Great Buddha of Thailand. There is a statue of the Great Buddha of Thailand, also referred to as the Great Buddha from the dissemination of the Buddha that is known as the Great Buddha of Thailand, and it can be found inside the Great Buddha of Thailand. The structure was constructed in 1194 and consisted of 5 stories. It was constructed on the same site as the Great Buddha of Thailand and was then painted gold. With the intention of paying tribute to the monarch of Thailand at the time, The construction of the Great Buddha began in the year 1990 and continued until the year 2008, when it was finally completed. Donations from Buddhists all around the world were used to construct the statue. These individuals viewed their contributions as a demonstration of their faith, an act of merit, and an opportunity to give something back to the community. To sum it all up, they amassed the equivalent of more than $3 million. One hand is placed lightly on the knee of the Buddha represented here, while the other hand is lying on their lap with their palm facing upward. This posture is known as the Mara Vijaya attitude. During his journey toward enlightenment, Buddha is said to have triumphed over his adversaries, and this posture or attitude is symbolic of that victory. In addition, if you ever have the opportunity to have a close look at the Great Buddha of Thailand, you might also experience a sense of enlightenment. Number 12. Hokkaido Cannon. As the third largest statue in Japan, the Hokkaido Cannon is also the 8th tallest in the world. This 289-foot-tall sculpture is another famous representation of the Bodhisattva Guanyin, a prevalent figure in Buddhism. It is also called the Byakue Cannon, or the Daikonon of Kitanomiya Park. Additionally, it has been open for business since 1989, so it isn't really a newcomer. Guests of the Hokkaido Cannon may ride the elevator to any of the 20 stories housing shrines and other houses of worship during the building's prime. Nothing wrong with it if you're not a fan of heights. Why? Because you may still find a plethora of little shrines scattered around the region, perfect for finding solace and seeking divine wisdom. Historically, this area saw an influx of visitors in the spring, when the cherry blossoms, a symbol of Japan, were in full bloom. We regret to inform you that the Hokkaido Cannon is now permanently closed. Number 11. The Statue of Liberty. Without the Statue of Liberty, this list of the highest statues in the world would be incomplete. Everybody knows about the Statue of Liberty, but for many immigrants, she was the first thing they saw when they crossed the Atlantic Ocean at Ellis Island. Her legacy is just as magnificent as she is beautiful. In 1865, the French were the first to suggest it. Building formally started in 1875, with a large portion of the funding coming from the general public. Her structure was crafted from unadorned copper sheets, each one meticulously hammered and molded by hand. Gustave Eiffel himself built her steel frame, which the pliable sheets subsequently covered. The Eiffel Tower. Yes, the Eiffel. The completed sculpture weighed an incredible 225 tons and was a towering 151 feet tall before being placed on our pedestal. She was sent to the US as a token of friendship between the two countries and given to them as a gift. In 1886, she was eventually placed on her pedestal, and at 305 feet tall, she now towered above New York City. She stayed in New York City for the past 150 years. Standing proudly with a torch and the Declaration of Independence in one hand, she was a famous American icon. Feel free to question why this copper sculpture has a verdant hue. She used to be the same color as the US penny, but her green patina is a result of years of exposure to seawater and weather. Number 10. Spring Temple Buddha. In reality, a statue of the Buddha is the second highest statue in the world following the Buddha statue. A Buddha statue known as the Spring Temple may be seen in the township of Zakun, which is located in Luqian County, Hainan Province. With a staggering height of 502 feet and a width of 402 feet, it was constructed beginning in 1997 and continuing until 2008, a span of 11 years. The Tianyi Hot Spring, which is located nearby and is supposed to have restored the statue's properties, is that which gave rise to the statue's name. The Buddha of the Spring Temple is Virakana, who is frequently referred to as Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha is the Buddha that the majority of Westerners think of when they think of the Buddha. This artwork is typically used to symbolize the notion of sunyata, which can be translated as the void or the non-existence of the self in traditional East Asian Buddhism. In addition, if you are able to comprehend that idea, then it is possible that I will one day come across a massive statue picturing you. It is necessary to ascend a significant number of stairs in order to have a close-up look at the Buddha that is located in the Spring Temple. Because of this, however, you will be rewarded with the most breathtaking vista in the entire city. Number 9. Lekyun Sekya Buddha. There is a statue in Zakun that is the third largest in the world. Myanmar's Katakan Taong hamlet is home to the magnificent Lekyun Sekya Buddha, which may be found there. This statue of the Lekyun Sekya Buddha is really stunning, and it is certain to bring a smile to your face that is just as enormous as the statue itself. A total of 12 years were spent on the construction of this Buddha statue, which is 424 feet in height. It was ultimately finished and shown to the public in the year 2008. As you approach the monument, you will have your jaw on the floor because of the beautiful and tranquil pagodas and parks that are located along the path. You will see the statue from miles and miles away since it looms over the environment. Furthermore, in addition to the Buddha who is standing, you will also observe the other Buddha who is only lying down, unwinding and taking it easy. After all, he is the Buddha, so he is capable of doing that. You have the opportunity to make your way inside the standing Buddha, which is 31 floors, each of which represents and depicts the 31 worlds of life cycles that are described in the Buddhist scriptures. Whether you choose to believe it or not, this Buddha is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Myanmar. Numerous individuals travel from all over the country in order to have a sight of this unearthly artwork. Number 8. Sendai Daikon Buddha. With a height of 330 feet, the Sendai Daikanon, which is located in Sendai, Japan, is the tallest depiction of a goddess in Japan and the biggest of its sort anywhere in the world. It is also the largest statue of the Baikue Kannon. You would have believed that sculptures couldn't possibly get any larger, but this thing is actually rather monumental in Japan. Initially, she was the tallest monument in the world when she was constructed in 1991. However, she has gradually slipped down to the 5th place position in 2018. You may absolutely walk inside for a nominal cost, and you can ride the elevator all the way up to the top floor, where you will find even more sculptures of the Buddha and a variety of fabled kings. There are a total of 12 levels, each of which contains 8 Buddhas housed in its own wooden cabinet. If you are skilled in mathematics, you will be able to calculate that this amounts to a total of 106 Buddhas. Number 7. Ushiku Daibutsu. The Ushiku Daibutsu, which can be found in the prefectures of Ushiku and Ibaraki, holds the position of being the 4th tallest statue in the entire globe. The statue, which depicts the Amitabha Buddha and stands at a height of 394 feet, was finished in 1993 and is made entirely of bronze. It is a representation of the Buddha, who is known to embody boundless light and life. At the same time that it is an extremely common Buddha, it also symbolizes something that is really beautiful. In addition to this, it commemorates the birth of Shinran, the founder of the Jodo Shinshu school of Buddhism, which is widely regarded as the authentic Pure Land school of Buddhism. You can take a stroll within the Ushiku Daibutsu and make your way up to the observation deck, despite the fact that the Ushiku Daibutsu is appealing from a distance as well as from a close range. After entering the building for the first time, you will be met by a dimly lit lobby that is filled with music and a dazzling shaft of light that serves as the focal point. The Buddhist scriptures are given a greater amount of attention on the 2nd floor, which is referred to as the world of thankfulness and gratitude. For the world of the Lotus Sanctuary, which is located on the 3rd floor, you will find 3,000 magnificent golden Buddhist statues. After that, you will reach the 4th and final level, which provides you with views from the bosom of the statue that overlook the garden and animal park. Every floor of this enormous monument presents you with a fresh opportunity to pause and contemplate, not just the teachings and principles that Buddha espoused, but also your own life and the choices you have made. Number 6. The Motherland Calls. Moving away from one of the world's largest religions, Buddhism, for a moment, let's take a look at a European statue and the 9th largest in the world and the tallest in Europe, the Motherland Call. This statue is just as epic as its name. The Motherland Call stands at 279 feet tall in Volgograd, Russia, and it's the centerpiece of a larger ensemble of monuments. The Motherland Call stands as a constant reminder not only of the victory, but of the great cost the Soviets paid to defend the nation. And aside from a history lesson, the awesome statue looks like something out of a fantasy novel. Number 5. Guishan Guan Yin of the Thousand Hands and Eyes. Alright, this next entry on the list is probably the coolest yet. Guishan Guan Yin of the Thousand Hands and Eyes is exactly what it sounds like. Well, maybe she doesn't literally have 1,000 hands and eyes, but she's got more hands and heads that you can count with 2 hands. She's working with 42 hands in all, each making their own distinct and deliberate gesture. All of these hands allow this Buddha to see all of the misfortunes in the world and come to the aid of those who need it. And as you work your way up the statue, you'll notice the multiple heads that sit atop her main visa. It really is quite a beautiful statue, and its deeper meaning is even more so, as we should all recognize not only the trials and tribulations, but also light in one another. The 6th tallest statue in the world and the 4th tallest in China, she stands at 325 feet tall and is made entirely of gilded bronze and lives in the Hunan province. Number 4. The Statue of Unity. India is the 2nd most populated country in the world, and while there may be strength in numbers, the people of India understand their country's tumultuous history. Amidst all their pain and heartache during the age of colonialism, there is still beauty, and most importantly, unity. The Statue of Unity is the tallest in the world at 597 feet tall. It towers over the Spring Temple Buddha in China by over 170 feet, and it serves as a constant reminder of national pride. And instead of depicting a Buddha or one of Hinduism's fanatic 330 million gods and goddesses, the Statue of Unity simply depicts a human man, Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel is the first Prime Minister of India and held the office for just 3 years from 1947 to 1950. But he made quite an impact even before then. When India was under British rule, it was divided into 526 states, all with their own social rules, customs, and laws. The Crown made it quite difficult for any sort of dissent, but Patel was a fierce civil rights activist, and not only fought vehemently for his country's independence, but also helped to unite hundreds of separate states into one beautiful India. The Statue of Unity is made of reinforced concrete and bronze, and was built in just 3 years. It was unveiled in October of 2008, on what would have been Patel's 133rd birthday party. People flocked from far and wide to gaze upon this model, which serves not only as a valuable history lesson to all, but as a statement of the human spirit as well. Number 3. Leshan Giant Buddha. Since the 1st century after the Common Era, the first Buddhist temple in China may be found in the province of Sichuan. It has been there since the beginning of religious practice. Even though it is already a breathtaking sight, the Leshan Giant Buddha, which is one of the largest sculptures in the world, will be calling this location home. This sculpture is set against the most beautiful backdrop possible, which is the sheer rock face. The rock, which stands at a height of 230 feet, is the tallest pre-modern sculpture in addition to being the highest stone Buddha image seen anywhere in the globe. It is quite clear that it possesses a great deal of benefits. On top of the Min, the Leshan Giant Buddha, which is made of red bean sandstone that dates back to the Cretaceous period, stands tall and proud. Because of its illustrious status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which it attained in 1996, the Giant Buddha is visited by tens of thousands of people each and every year. This is something that you might anticipate. There are many who come to take pictures of the moment, and there are others who come to think about the purpose of life. As a result of its age and the fact that it was most likely carved by hand, the statue is even more spectacular, and it is of significant significance to a great number of individuals. However, it is sad that the Leshan Giant Buddha is not exactly constructed to last forever, and it has deteriorated throughout the course of their existence. Due to the fact that wind and air pollution are the primary contributors to the issue, the government sends out teams to ensure that the historic monument is preserved to the best of their abilities. Number 2. Statue of Guan Yu. Since his death in the year 220 AD, Guan Yu has been seen as a revered figure. He was a well-known Chinese military commander. This resulted in the completion of his statue in central China in 2016, which stood at 190 feet tall and weighed approximately 2,000 tons. In spite of the fact that the statue does not appear to be an exact duplicate of General Yu's visage, it has managed to transform him into something that is figuratively monumental. In spite of the fact that Guan Yu is dressed in the traditional costume of the time period, which consists of a cloak and robes, he is nevertheless brandishing his illustrious weapon, the green dragon crescent blade. Despite the fact that it may sound like a mystical wand from Dungeons & Dragons, the object in question is a genuine artifact that is currently being shown in the museum within the pedestal of the statue. With his 123-ton sword, the sculpture, which was created from 4,000 bronze strips, gives the impression that it is ready to launch itself into action at the drop of a hat and slay any adversary. Only around 3 years and approximately $1.5 billion won, which is equivalent to approximately $230 million, were required by the government in order to erect the statue of Guan Yu. Many locals come to pay their respects, in addition to the tourists who travel considerable distances to see this majestic memorial. While it is possible that it does not possess the title of the highest statue in the world, there is no one who can argue against the fact that it is among the most impressive. Number 1. Guan Yin of Nanshan. When you are in the vicinity of the Nanshan Temple of Sanya, which is located on the southern shore of the Hainan province in China, you can't help but notice the Guan Yin of Nanshan, which is precisely 354 feet tall and towers over virtually everything. Another stunning statue depicting Guan Yin, who is a symbol of compassion and mercy. This one is particularly stunning. This statue is a little bit unique in that it has 3 faces, 2 of which face the South China Sea and the other face inland. These faces are meant to symbolize the Guan Yin blessing and protecting the entire planet. Additionally, they are doing the Vikarta Mudra motion with the other hand while holding a sutra in the left hand. This gesture is meant to symbolize the discourses and transmissions of Buddhist teaching within the Buddhist tradition. Nothing about this statue is a coincidence. Everything about it serves a purpose, and nothing here happened by chance. As you make your way around the statue, you will notice that the Guan Yin is also holding a string of prayer beads and a lotus. Her statue, which was finally enshrined in 2005, was constructed over the course of 6 years and is currently ranked as the 12th largest statue in the world. And despite the fact that she is extremely breathtaking to look at, the view of the crystal clear seas that she rests on is not all that horrible either. That's it for our tour of the titans of the statue world. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more enlightening videos like this.